Prince Harry walked away from royal life 6 years ago, and one thing is absolutely clear: he did so with his eyes wide open and his values firmly intact. When Harry and Meghan stepped away in January 2020, they were not running from duty, they were redefining it. They chose mental health over misery, family over formality, and service over symbolism. And while certain outlets love to frame the last 6 years as a list of what Harry has lost, the truth is far more powerful. What we are really looking at is what Harry chose to give up in order to protect his wife, his children, and himself, and what he has gained in return tells a much bigger story. From the very beginning, Harry and Meghan were clear. They wanted a modernized role, one that allowed them to continue serving while also being financially independent. That proposal was rejected not because it was impossible, but because it challenged an outdated system that thrives on hierarchy and control. Faced with an impossible choice, Harry did what generations of royals before him never dared to do. He chose freedom. Let us start with the issue of royal titles, because this is often weaponized as a so-called loss. When Harry and Meghan stepped back, it was announced that they would no longer use their HRH styles. This was framed as a punishment, but in reality it was a formality tied to the institution, not a reflection of who they are. Harry was born a prince. Nothing can change that. Meghan married into the family and remains the Duchess of Sussex, a title gifted by the late Queen herself on their wedding day in 2018. That title has never been removed and continues to be used today. More importantly, Harry and Meghan have never defined themselves by honorifics. Their impact has never relied on prefixes or palace approval. They have built global influence through action, through advocacy, and through authenticity. Losing the use of HRH did not silence them, it freed them. It allowed them to speak openly about issues the royal system prefers to keep hidden, including mental health, racism, media abuse, and generational trauma. Then there is the conversation around patronages. After stepping back, the Sussexes were given a 12-month review period. At the end of that time, they confirmed they would not return as working royals, and as a result, their official royal patronages were returned to the Crown. This included organisations like the Queen's Commonwealth Trust, the National Theatre, and several sporting bodies. What is rarely acknowledged is that Harry and Meghan did not abandon service when these patronages were removed. They simply shifted how they served. Through the Archewell Foundation, they have supported vaccine equity, mental health initiatives, women's empowerment, disaster relief, and digital safety on a global scale. Unlike royal patronages, which are often symbolic and tightly controlled, Archewell allows them to directly fund, partner, and amplify grassroots organisations, making tangible impact. Harry has spoken before about how limiting the royal system can be when it comes to real change. Outside of it, he has been able to collaborate with world leaders, tech companies, non-profits, and communities without asking permission from palace courtiers. That is not a loss, that is liberation. The same applies to Harry's military titles. This is often framed as one of the most painful sacrifices, and understandably so. Harry served 2 tours in Afghanistan. He founded the Invictus Games to support wounded, injured, and sick service members. His commitment to veterans has never been in question. When he stepped away from royal life, he was required to relinquish honorary roles such as Captain General of the Royal Marines and other ceremonial appointments. But here is the key distinction. These were honorary titles, not operational roles. Harry did not lose his identity as a soldier or his bond with the military community. If anything, he has deepened it. Invictus has grown into a global movement, changing how the world views wounded veterans. Harry shows up not in uniform, but as a peer, a listener and an advocate. Veterans consistently speak about how authentic his support is, because it comes from lived experience, not obligation. Titles were removed, but purpose remained. Then there is Frogmore Cottage, a subject tabloids love to dramatise. Frogmore was a home gifted by the Queen, and later renovated at Harry and Meghan's own expense. For a time it served as their UK base. After the publication of Spare, the couple were asked to vacate and return the keys. Rather than focusing on loss, it is worth asking why having a permanent base in the UK became untenable in the first place. Harry has been open about the security risks his family faces and the lack of protection provided. Without guaranteed safety, Frogmore could not function as a home, especially for Meghan and their children. Harry's affection for Frogmore and the Windsor grounds speaks to his deep connection to his roots. But choosing not to maintain a house where his family could not feel safe is not a tragedy, it is responsible parenting. Home is not defined by bricks and mortar, it is defined by peace. And Harry has built that peace in California, where his children can ride bikes, play freely, and grow up without constant intrusion. Perhaps the most emotionally charged topic is Harry's relationship with his family. There is no denying that stepping away caused tension. Change always does, especially in families bound by tradition and expectation. Harry has never claimed this journey has been easy. He has spoken openly about grief, disappointment, and heartbreak. The breakdown of his relationship with his brother Prince William is often portrayed as Harry's fault alone, ignoring decades of pressure comparison and unresolved trauma. Harry did not create the rivalry, the institution did. And when he chose to speak honestly about his experiences, it was not to attack, but to heal. His relationship with his father, King Charles, has also had its ups and downs. But recent reports suggest lines of communication remain open. Healing in families is rarely linear. It takes time, honesty, and boundaries. Harry has chosen to break cycles rather than preserve appearances, and that takes courage. What matters most is that Harry has created a stable, loving environment for his own family. He's present as a husband and father in ways royal life would never have allowed. That is not a loss, that is a generational win. Finally, there is the issue of popularity. Poll numbers are often cited as proof that Harry has fallen from grace. But popularity is a fickle metric heavily influenced by media narratives, particularly in the UK tabloid press. Harry has never chased approval. He has consistently chosen principle over popularity. It is also worth noting that despite relentless negative coverage, Harry and Meghan remain two of the most recognisable figures in the world. Their projects attract global attention, their philanthropy reaches millions, and their voices carry weight far beyond palace walls. Public opinion shifts. What matters is legacy. Harry's legacy is one of honesty, compassion, and reform. He has used his platform to speak about mental health at a time when silence was costing lives. He has called out racism when it was more comfortable to look away. He has challenged an institution not out of spite, but out of love for what it could be. So when lists are made of what Prince Harry has lost since 2020, let us be clear. He did not lose his values, he did not lose his voice, he did not lose his purpose. What he gave up were symbols that came at the cost of his well-being. In return, he gained freedom, safety, authenticity, and a future where his children are not trapped by the same expectations that once suffocated him. That is not a downfall. That is growth. Prince Harry did not quit life, he reclaimed it. And 6 years on, he has not looked back because he's finally moving forward on his own terms.